Potter's Journal. What's going on in the studio today? I will be making some shish kebab coiled spouts to go on some jugs from southern France. It's part of my 101 Jugs series. Sorry I won't be cooking for you today, but we will look at Patricia Wells at home in Provence and see what parallels and influences we can take from a cookbook. Okay, let's see how these went together. Okay, a little scary doing the first one, but okay, this is starting to work. This is working out okay. As potters, we are taught to throw spouts on the wheel. So this is another method of doing it. Okay, French provincial water jugs, oil jugs, wine jugs, just look to me like they were coiled, made out of a coil. And that's way too long, so we are going to shorten it. And I am making them a little fatter on one end than another. And then, okay, I'm going to take this brush and we are going to treat this like we are making a kofta kebab, shashlik, whatever you call it, a ground meat Turkish kebab. And we are going to skewer it. Okay. And hopefully get it up through the center. I always wondered how they did that. And managed to get the meat through the center of the skewer. Okay, I'm gonna then narrow this a bit. And I'm gonna then clean up the top lip. Okay, yeah, give that a clean cut. And then narrow it. They, you know, have no idea how these were made, but judging by the form and the shape they take and the way something made like this would handle afterwards, I'm guessing that this is how it was done. Okay, and then I am gonna give the bottom, push it up a bit and give it a bit of a flare that will catch and attach to the side of the pot. And yeah, they often had a little bit narrower right here too. So let's see, that may be a bit too big, but we can make it smaller, we can shorten it, we can't make it longer. Okay, and around that now on the inside a little bit. Okay, and I've seen some where they came off at a sharp upwards angle and some that did come out more like that. So I think this needs to be a little bit shorter again. I'm going to take it at an angle like this. So yeah, on that, yeah. And I like the way that comes out of the pot. Okay, so I saw quite a few of these French provincial pots, a lot of them cooking pots, basins, pans, in the Patricia Wells At Home in Provence cookbook. After going through the book, though, I realized she was using a lot of the same pieces over and over again. Okay, and now to attach this, we are going to give, okay, I'm still working this out, so that'll, okay, that's its location, and we'll give it, okay, a mark on there with the brush. And we will cut a hole through here. Okay, like that. And these are both pretty wet, so we don't really need much scoring or slipping, but out of habit. Okay, and I will put a little bit on there. And line that up so it's going up straight. Okay, and then making sure that we get it where the hole is. We can use the brush to do that. And then that little flare down there is in place to just attach this nice and cleanly. Now, I always want to do it nice and cleanly. This is a historical piece that they weren't always put together nice and cleanly. They were sometimes put on there rather rough. Is the clay okay? And okay, and the handles. So the book, not only recipes with generous photographs that didn't overpower the recipes, also was filled with tips on preparing and pairing with other foods, but also a brief paragraph of a history or a story about the food. Maybe it's history or a market where it was important because of some local ingredient. Looking for my needle. Needle right next to the board. Okay, I'm not sure, looking at the images, that these things weren't coil-made handles. They had a look that, the detective work kind of said that. Okay, so I'm going to give this an angle that way. And how much of a handle do we need here? Okay, so some of these had rather big handles too. I'm making them a little bit smaller. Some of them came way up there. They look like pieces just destined to be broken. So with the description of the food, this history of maybe a time when she prepared it and it was a most memorable meal, a time when the memory of that meal will take you back to that time. Gave you not just a how-to recipe, but gave you an understanding of the food. And I think that's the same thing we need to get in touch with when making pots too. Not just a how-to, but an understanding of. Okay. And the one coming this way, they both accented this arch, but they couldn't exactly, because they were also bridging a gap between there and a spout. So there was, an asymmetric symmetry about it. Okay. Back to the understanding of, when I have something of great abundance in the garden, I will, look up a million recipes on what to do with it and maybe not follow any of them, but come up with my own way to prepare it, or my combination of what many other people have done for the same dish. The same thing we need to do, when taking inspiration from somebody else's work. There's an artist who does face mugs with, oh wow, look how little that gap is between there and there. Face mugs with a coil mouth and eyes, and most distinctive of being of a certain artist. And I saw a YouTube tab, and oh wow, now I'll know who that artist is, but it wasn't. It was somebody who was quite proud of being able to copy somebody else's work, and didn't give them any credit or mention where the inspiration come from. We need to, if we're going to make something new, a face mug, a pie plate, whatever it is, look up all the different methods and then come up with our own. But then what happens, when you're doing a historic style, which is in a sense what this is. We're not replicating, an individual's work, but a certain style and piece that was of a certain time or place or era. And in a sense, even potters and potteries that do that are intentionally replicating and doing traditional forms, I've noticed that no matter what, there's something in them that still speaks of today, and that can date them to now, and not being from the 17th century or whenever they were made. The medieval pieces with the thumb marks around the bottom. I've seen quite a few people and potters doing that, and some who are replicating old pieces, but there's a certain life in the old pieces that I've not seen anybody reproduce. There's something instilled in them by the time and the place that can't be replicated. Okay, these are fun. Look at that. I'm going to do a similar glaze. I'm not doing these as earthenware. I'm doing them as stoneware. But I'm going to do the green glaze. Sometimes it was yellow. Leave the clay body on the bottom part. And you know what? I am going to do a little teeny, since I didn't have a flare on this spout on the upper part where it came in contact with the pot, I am going to put a little baby miniature coil in there and clean to make sure that we've got, that attached nicely. These pieces I noticed are being produced again, but the ones being made now all look very clean and a bit sterile compared to the old pieces. And actually Patricia Wells in her book too had some old pieces and some new pieces. Okay. I don't know if I can do something with the spout to make sure that, it pours. Okay. Okay, French provincial, water, oil, wine, jugs. Not earthenware, though. We're going to do them as stoneware. And do comment and subscribe. I will put a link up at the end and maybe down below to some of my other jug videos. I probably should start to organize them in a playlist. I wouldn't know what to put first. It was kind of a rough start because I'm relearning. Third year back to making pots. I was away from it for 25 years, so the first ones were kind of just building up the skills and to make, you know, a narrow-necked bottle jug. And yeah, the next video, okay, we'll continue on the French spouted jugs, but a little different form and shape or decorating method. I just unloaded a kiln, but we can't just make mugs all the time. And I was happy with these. I wish they'd have turned out that good when I had a show to do the next day. But now they're all coming out great. However, you can't just make mugs all the time. This was fun. Okay, so stop back. You never know what you can do until you try. A coiled spout. Who would have thought? Stop back and we will turn the page. And the next ones we will do this coiled, roped, beaded stuff on some more pots from southern France. And I liked this guy here too. Maybe we'll try one of these. And okay, how about this? The coil or roped, or what is that? A beaded, twisted, braided handles on the Botijo.